Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing a video on a deck experimentation. We'll be experimenting with US Armor and Stryker, and so I just wanted to get this video out here with just sort of some testing with and just playing around with the decks and seeing what I could do with the deck that I created here. So I'm going to give a sort of simple overview of the deck that I created, and then we're going to go ahead and get into a match analysis of the first match that I had with this deck. So let's go ahead and get into the deck first. So as you can see here, this is our basic setup. We have, let's go start first with reconnaissance. So we have 4 cavalry scouts with 4 M3A4 CFVs, and these are completely maxed out. And I'm not going to give too in-depth review or in-depth overview of the deck. I'm just going to give a simple overview of them, so we're not going to go too much in depth here. Just going to give this is what I have, this is what I'm using, and then we'll get into the match analysis of the sort of deck experimenting. So we have this one's all maxed out with the armor, APS, and engine. We have our cavalry scout. We have our not cavalry scouts. We just have our scouts. We have our MQ1 Predator, our Q7 Shadow, and M1117 Guardian. For reconnaissance, for our infantry, we have 6 mechanized riflemen with 6 M2A4 Bradleys, which are fully maxed out. Alongside them, we have 4 troopers, alongside 4 Dragoon trophies and 1296 Dragoon trophies. And then along that, we have some troopers anti-air. For our infantry, for our vehicle tab, we have 6 Strykers ATGM trophies, and then we have 8 M1A2 Abrams. And these are, I believe, maxed out, yes. So basically, before I continue on with the deck, I'm mainly doing this one just sort of trying to play out with different concepts and sort of different ways of thinking about creating decks. So I think I sort of categorize them into 3 different sort of categories. So we have the first one just being specialization, the second one being a specialized or balanced specialized, and the third one just being balanced. And so for this one, I kind of want to do a specialized balance since I already do a balanced deck. So this specialized balanced deck is mainly focusing on ground units only, with excluding, like as you can see, we don't really have any helis or air. So it's super focused on ground, but also still maintaining that balance of covering your bases and whatnot. So let's go ahead and go on to, for support, we have 2 Patriot packs, 3 MSEs, 2 MML AIM-9s, 3 HEM-Ts for transportation, 3 Paladins, 2 Attackums, 4 Stryker Shorads, and 2 M1075s for support. And then for air, we just got an F-16 Fighting Falcon. So that's pretty much it for this deck. This is just a testing, sort of experimenting with the Armor and Stryker deck, trying to build a more specialized, balanced approach. Like I said, I'm going to make another video about going into sort of the 3 key categories for developing any deck. So like I said, first one, specialized. It's just a specialized deck. Second one being a balanced specialized, and the third one being just balanced, right? And I'll go ahead and do that video sometime this week, but here's just the deck that we're going to run with, and then I'll go ahead and do the match analysis. But if you guys want an in-depth overview of this deck, maybe I'll do that, but this deck is just, like I said, sort of experimenting, so this is going to be changing, and we're just going to see how this deck did overall in the match. So let's go ahead and get into the match analysis. Okay, now here we are with the match. As we can see, we're on Route of Forest. This is, I believe, the first main match that I use for this deck. Yeah, so we're going to get our Patriots first. As you notice, we separate them. That's one of the rules I have for when I play any sort of strategy. Always get the packs out. I believe here I go ahead and get the Shorads. Yeah, I think I'm going for mainly a first armor push, so that's one of the strategies that I kind of like to use. And I'll go ahead and link the videos that I'm referencing in the description below. As I was saying, the issue I think with this deck, I sort of noticed, was it's the enemy player spammed a lot of jets with seed, so those are sort of anti-radiation or anti-radar missiles. And a good way to counter that is just turning off your radar and just moving your packs, which I did here. Then we got to aim here for some more support going against those jets, and I think helis as well if they spawn any. So we can see here we're getting some more. I believe, what do I get? I think I'm focusing more on trying to take the middle left. Remember, guys, always choose one. At least one of the strategies or one of the key rules is choosing a side and sticking with it. And so I chose the middle left here, going for H and D, and also trying to get G if I'm able to. So we move up our packs for some more anti-air support for our Stryker teams that are moving up. We get another shore ride because that's super vital for our front line to defend against enemy helis. And then we get our... One of the cool things too I like about using the Pack 3 MSCs, they don't do as much damage as Pack 2s, but they have a lot of munition. They got 12 shots. And then I think there we could see, I think the jets are starting to come in. Right, they hit that missile open, it's still... It almost got it and protected itself, but... Oh, here, that one got destroyed, yeah. So we lost those two. I think if we would have turned on the aim, it would have maybe been helpful there. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, see, and it even says we need seat protection. You can only do so much with those jets. I mean, they're really good against those the radar, anti-air. A good way to counter them is just turn off your radar and then turn it back on when you sort of as need basis. So we get our units up here, start getting a sort of line of defense with our AA, just in case we have any helis that want to push us or any air transportation units. Start getting our troopers up. We get our aim 9. We try to move them up in the field as well. Our shore out is pushing up from the back. Let's go ahead and push this back up. I think we get some Bradleys. Or let's see. Yeah, we get a, what is that? A Paladin. Paladins aren't, I'm finding them not to be particularly the best for artillery. I'm just not really, as of right now, the best when it comes to using artillery. Still learning, getting better as we go along. That's why we do this sort of match analysis, to see what things that we could sort of improve upon, and what things we're doing wrong, and what things that we're doing right. Just look for certain deficiencies and trying to correct them. So we do pretty good here, having somewhat of a front line. It's not the best. I mean, they did get a pretty decent push. They had 2 players that could probably wipe that out. So yeah, I don't think I did when I was doing earlier in this video. I don't think I went over the transportation that I'm using for some of the infantry. So I apologize for that. But I'm just mainly using a lot of Strykers with I think it's the Dragoon, I believe it is. The Dragoon gun. So we try to, here we get the attackums, and we try to utilize it to take out enemy anti-air, or even their artillery. I don't think we were successful there. Struggled a little bit. So we get our Dragoon trophy coming in. Yes, our Dragoon has I don't know what main gun that is, but I believe it does some AP damage. So that's what we got those. We got those for our sort of ground transportation and armored light vehicles for going against other light vehicles and putting the pressure on some tanks and just support our infantry. So we see we got some guys pushing on D. We were able to successfully take H, and we're pushing into I to support our friendly, so that way they could take that objective. So far we don't have many of the objectives, but we're doing okay here. We go ahead and move our attackums so they don't get destroyed. We're going to start supporting our line with some supplies. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Yeah, so our Paladin, we're getting, I believe, another Paladin. We have 2 Bradleys pushing up the main line to support. Our Dragoon trophy did take the I objective, so we're going to push back one of our other Dragoon trophies. I want to sort of regenerate that with some supplies. And then we're going to go ahead and move our M2A4 Bradleys around. Start supporting our units on the front line. And then we have a R7 Shadow, get some reconnaissance going. And so we're refilling our attackums here. Let's go ahead and speed it up. I don't want to spend too long in this video. I don't want to be anywhere longer than 45 minutes. So I try to keep it down a little bit. So we got our friendlies going and pushing up on the left side. I noticed that, so I'm trying to go ahead and reorient my sort of units to support him. We have our attackums, it's full. We're gonna go ahead. I think we're gonna go ahead and do another shot at somewhere over here. Yeah, I believe so. I don't think here I'm not really too familiar with using attackums and the best way of going about it. That's why, again, guys, you just experiment, see what units you like, what units you don't like, what units are the best for in the situation, and just overall what deck you want to build when you're going for a particular category. So again, for this category, it's mainly focusing on sort of specialized balance. So like focusing on armor only sort of specialty, with still balance, being able to still take on anti-air and anti-infantry and other areas of the game too. So here we're just getting more units to push up closer to our other units, with our artillery coming up, and we have our Bradleys and our Dragoons pushing, other Strikers pushing as well. Then we have our M10 going to supply our lines. So far it's looking pretty good here. We have the middle being taken by some friendlies. We're doing pretty well at holding the H. We don't really have any enemies pushing us, and here we do. So they're mainly focusing on I, which we're able to take, help support. We have our artillery. Go ahead and start firing on them, put some pressure on them. And our troopers starting to fire at them. They use all the javelins, so we're just going to push them back so that way we could get our supply and we push them back there so that way we could resupply the javelin. And here we're going to start pushing up our Bradleys. Use our dragoons as well. We know that they have enemy heavy tank there, so we want to be really careful here. We don't want our Bradleys to get destroyed easily. Because I could take about 1 to 2 shots from some heavy tanks, I believe. And then after that, they're done. I think it actually might just be 1 shot. And if they take a second shot, they're kind of screwed there. So then we lost our recon, but we were able to get a little slight overview of where they might be. And let me know, guys, if I'm talking a little bit too fast. I'm going to try to slow it down a bit. And I did lower the volume, so hopefully you guys can hear me better. But here they send out some more jets, and I don't think I replenished my pack. I'm not too worried about that yet. They're not really utilizing jets to drop a lot of like carpet bombing and whatnot. We have our Dragoon trophy pushing up. I believe that one is equipped with, I think it's a javelin. Where's that? Let's see, yeah, it's oh no, actually no, it's just the Dragoon trophy is the regular one with the main gun. Doesn't have a javelin on it. I think I don't use the ones with the javelin, or I think it's a javelin, or it might be a tow. I think it's a javelin, yeah, I don't think I use those until later in the match. So far this match is going in the enemy's favor. We're doing our due diligence of pushing up on the middle right and trying to support our friendly on the left. We see an enemy Bradley there. We start putting out some pressure on them, and we get shot from the back. That wasn't a good idea for me to show my rear to them. But we did some damage to him. The Bradley is getting close to being down, so we go ahead and notice that there isn't too many infantry being defending D. And then as we get in there closer, we see that there actually is some infantry, and then we start getting hit by artillery. So we get the paladin, we start laying down some fire on that heavy tank. So that's a SEP trophy, I think, too. So it's pretty strong. We lost our Bradley over there, unfortunately, so we start pulling our units back. We get this sort of a supply logistics units, get them back, and then I think we start pushing in our Dragoon trophy to put some more pressure on those units on D, so that way we can start taking D and getting some more zones for our team. So we start putting some more pressure on with some cluster bombs on the forest, just in case the enemy tank is still there, so that we get him to force some movement on him. So we start putting some pressure on D, utilizing some hotkeys, pressing G to force fire into certain positions. We quit firing on those positions and we move our A. Remember, guys, fire and move, fire and move. Never want to stay in the same position with your arty or even pretty much any units, really. Do your best you can. So we start firing on the tank. I see our Dragoon does some damage, but honestly, he's doing pretty good damage. So those things do pretty good. I didn't really notice that actually. So it's good thing that I'm doing this match overview or match analysis, so that way I could actually see that those Dragoons are actually capable. Because when you're in the match and you're playing, it's really hard to see what units are doing the most sort of effective, or being the most effective, right? Because you're not particularly focused on all those like small little details that you might miss them, which could actually be really beneficial to building your deck. So that's why I think these match analysis are really beneficial, just seeing what's going on and just getting more insight to the small little things that are going on in the game. So now we get our Stryker ATGM trophies. So those are going to be more for our anti-vehicles. We start getting more, then we get 2 Bradleys and 2 tanks to push in on Delta. So I'm actually really liking, so far from what I'm witnessing here, I really do like using the Strikers, especially those Dragoons. They did some pretty good damage to the that heavy tank there. I was able to take him out. If I would have pushed in with my other Dragoon, we probably would have been able to take him out. And if I didn't push back my Bradley, but I really didn't want to lose those vehicles. And then there we have our Dragoon trophy, putting some more pressure on D. And on the right side, our friendlies aren't doing the best, but we were trying our best to put the pressure so that way they could. And then we do notice in the back enemy arty, so we're gonna go ahead and try to just put some pressure on them, make them move, and stop them from laying down fire on our friendlies. So we were able to successfully take D, and then our Dragoon trophy is taking some damage, so we're going to try to get him out of there. Oh, unsuccessfully. So we start getting our Abrams pushing up, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if our Bradley's going to make it. We try our best here. We get our Paladins to start putting some more pressure on them. And then we're going to get our ATGM and try to get him in that sort of crossroads over there to put some more pressure on the enemy. So our Paladin is firing on hopefully what is enemy artillery positions, just to put some more pressure on them and hopefully destroy them, take out their enemy arty. So once we go ahead and regenerate our units, and another key thing guys, make sure that you have supplies near your front line. So that way, once your units' health gets low or ammunitions or they run out of ammunition, you can replenish and regenerate them. It's gonna be super important for keeping them in the battle and just pushing the pace on the enemy. So here we have two M1A2 Abrams doing some damage on those. I know a lot of people. Oh, there we get. We lose. I don't know what we lost. I think a Stryker there. So we start pushing our. Oh, we should have probably moved that Abrams back. I got a little too overextending there with them. They did pretty good though. They took out one tank. They're about to take out the other tank, so they're pretty useful. I know a lot of people, or I heard someone in the comments saying that the M1A2 Abrams is garbage because it doesn't have APS and whatnot. But honestly, I think that it still does. From what I've noticed, they still do pretty good. And there we were too late to delay our or use our smoke, so that wasn't the best there. So far we're doing good. We're putting the pressure on them. We were able to take D, hold H, and support our enemy on the left. The middle isn't doing the best so far, but we'll see what happens here. So it looks like I'm going for more supplies. I noticed I ran out of supplies. I want to be able to support our front line. I think I actually lose the supplies that were right there. I'm not sure. So we're getting more AA just in case. I noticed that we have a lot of ground units, but we don't have much AA. We have, I think, 2 shoreheads there, but I like, for me, I really can never have enough AA, especially if they spam a bunch of helis. Really important to be able to counter that, because they have helis that have a lot of hellfires or missiles that counter tanks. It's just not going to be good. So we're doing good here. They taking D back, but we're gonna, I believe, get it here back shortly. Yeah, we're putting some more pressure on them on D. Let's go ahead and pick up the pace here. So we have our friendly pushing in on G, starting to get comfortable on the left side, so he's feeling sort of confident enough to push on zone G. You notice I have some tanks back there. Then we are resupplying our units, regenerating them as well. We have some Stryker, our Dragoons pushing up on them. So I really like using those Stryker Dragoons. They're pretty good, actually. I didn't know they do that much damage to the enemy heavy tanks. So we drop our units there. Like I said, one of the key things in armor and infantry push is utilizing the infantry to push up first, and then having the armor to support them in the rear. Then we get some shadow. We get a bunch of shadows. Those things are only like 50 points, so they're pretty useful, and they also stay pretty low, so they could see a lot more enemy units that are hiding. So we see our friend there having a little problem on the left side. We're able to spot those enemy. I think those are probably, I don't know what those are, probably packs or whatnot. But we spot them for our team and for us, just in case we want to put some pressure on them. We were able to take G, and they took out all of our recon. I start spamming them there. So we were able to take D back. We start moving up our units. We don't want them to stack up and get taken out by enemy arty or by any missiles. So we start pushing them up. Oh, and they start engaging the enemy. We transition them to be able to have a better line of sight for fire. And then they have a bunch of units see that they're pushing, so we start trying to do a counteroffensive since they pushed. We lost those units there. So we have D, we start pushing up our M1A2 Abrams and our Stryker ATGM. Short Shureds are still there, so they haven't been really using any helis, I noticed here. So that's why I'm able to focus on more light and heavy vehicles to push the front with some infantry as well. We push up our Paladins back. Now, I'm not sure exactly how to utilize the paladins to their fullest potential. They seem to be okay, but honestly, in here in this game, I'm not too sure if I want to go with them again, but I'm going to keep trying them. This is my first match really experimenting with this deck. And then we see that there is cavalry scouts right there. Pop smoke to defend against that, and they were shooting for ATGM, so that active protection helped us out. We see that those cav scouts are there indeed, so we're going to go ahead and get our infantry to push them. Ooh, and they're getting taken out. So they're starting to push, but we're able to hold our own, keep fighting. A pretty good dogfight for D, and especially D. They keep wanting to push D, so we're just going to keep supporting our units here. So far, I'm really pleased with the way that the Stryker deck has, especially for infantry, and I just like the units in the Stryker category. The armor is doing okay. Our M1A2 Abrams are doing what they're supposed to do. Our arty, I'm not sure how effective our arty has been. I haven't been able to really see their effectiveness. Because once you place an arty and you go and do something else, it's kind of hard to see if they actually hit their target or do any damage. So Abraham's taking some damage. Oh, the smoke gets popped. We start pushing him back all the way through the forest. We get our logistics team vehicle to move up and support that, resupply and regenerate him. That active protection was able to help him out. We're going to move those infantry units out of there. And the active protection is helping that vehicle out. Oh, we did some damage there. Pretty good. Because those things were like probably anywhere from 300 to 400 points. So the fact that we're able to do that much damage with a unit that's probably half that amount is pretty good. I should have, once I did my damage, I should have got there quickly. Again, one of the rules I like to use: get in, do some damage, get out quickly. At least, especially if you're low on HP like that. So here we're doing pretty good. We're able to hold our line. On the right side, they're not doing so well yet, but we do have more zones in them, so it is looking more in our favor here, which is ideal. Seems like the enemy is having a little bit of trouble with handling all of our units at once. And G is now neutral, which is nice. We need to start repositioning our units to D, so that way we could defend it if they decide to do a push. So we're doing pretty good. Still have our shoreheads. Haven't really used any helis or jets, so I haven't felt the need to get any packs. Been mostly utilizing. Oh, then here we get some Abrams to support our units on the right, our friendlies on the right. Get 2 Abrams. Try not to spread us out too thin. The cool thing about these points is that they're all pretty close together in proximity, so it's we're not stretching our units too thin. There I try to like. Oh, see, it's going against that Sep 3. He does more damage than us. We're not going to win that fight in a 1v1 without support from other vehicles. And our loading has been damaged there. We were able to take out that enemy heli. So we were able to take Golf with that M2A4 Bradley that we had. I don't know exactly when we pushed them there, but we're doing pretty good at supporting our friendlies, maintaining our front line, and also pushing a pretty good offensive into the neutral zones. So we're putting the pace on them, able to hold our own and defend it pretty well. So far this experiment with the Stryker and armor deck is going pretty well, and this sort of falls in the category of sort of specialized balanced, instead of a pure specialization where I'm focusing on only like sort of one particular thing, like only just going be support or just tanks only. And then we notice that they have some enemy units in the forest there, so we push up our M2A4 Bradleys to go ahead and counter those. Yep, they're not going to be able to really do much there. It was enemy small. And our APS there protecting our units. I really like using this deck so far. It was really fun. A little different from my Special Forces balanced deck with the armor. And then we get a little confident here, so we decide to push up our units closer to the enemy spawn. Not that close, but a little past the zone. And they also have a enemy force recon there. One of our Bradleys there is a little down in the hit points, but we pull him out there. And then our other Abrams, we start pushing him up, since he's the one that was over here near Charlie. So we're doing pretty good. We have quite a bit of units, as you can see here on the screen. doing pretty well. Able to hold G, D, support on C, and hold H as well. So this deck is looking pretty well for us, but to be honest, the enemy isn't really putting that much pressure on us. I think they went too much into air and anti-air, I would say, and they're just not utilizing their units the best they could. They start doing some damage on us. I have yet been able to really do any damage to their backline there. Like every time I use my paladins, I've just not been successful in taking out their arty. So they do some damage there. We do lose. Oh, I think they drop a bomb there, and we lose some. I think we had Bradley and ATGM there. And then that guys, be really careful with your supplies. Like this supply right here was not mine. I really love stealing supplies, especially if you bring them up too close to the front line. It's just easy stealing, easy pickings, and you don't want that to happen to you. So that's why I try to keep them behind the front line as much as possible, close enough where I'm able to really support my line quickly with regeneration and resupply, but not close enough where they could be stolen. So that's one thing you want to look out for. So here we're doing pretty good. We have our ATGM and our Bradley holding the front along with some troopers. We have our M10 logistics vehicle stealing those supplies, bringing them back for us to use, saving us about 40 to 50 points right there. So we have some Alaji there to drop off some more units to support the front line. So this match is going pretty well for us. In the beginning we wasn't too sure, but we were able to make some dent in the middle left and also support units on the far left and in the middle right. So here we got a lot of units in the middle on G. We're fighting back for that point. I think we were also able to successfully take it while we retreat our M2A4 Bradley, pull him back so we could regenerate him and get him back in the fight. So here we're able to believe he pulls out his Marines, and we were able to successfully take G back. So we have a pretty good line, pretty good front line going here. We have a good offensive, good defensive. We're covering all our bases, we're resupplying our units, and making the most out of all the units we have. And we're trying to support our guys on the right. Let's go ahead and go up a little more. So our Bradley's pulling back. We're getting more support. We're feeling our attack rooms. They're having more success on the right side with only 2 zones left to the enemy. They tried utilizing the jets there in the enemy, but they weren't able to be as effective as they could have been. So this game's going pretty well in our favor, doing a lot better. Really like using this tech. We get some more trophies out to support our Bradleys to take out enemy armor. So when we do lose a Bradley, they try to get a little offensive going there on G, but they are unsuccessful. We try to pull these Bradleys back, but I don't think we were that successful. We do end up losing one here, as we can see shortly. Getting our ATGMs up there so we can put some pressure on those enemy vehicles. And I think that's where we get taken out. Yeah, we're doing some damage on the US and the Marines. They lose about half HP, but we do lose one Bradley, so that's not good. We get our ATGMs pushing. We have some more Bradleys to push to the front line to counter their offensive. So it's looking pretty good here. We're going to resupply our attack rooms. Yep, nicer units doing some. Oh, we might lose that trophy. Yeah, I should have stopped him there. If you force move him, just not the best. And then I see that Bradley's about to get taken out, so I give him a path to retreat. I'm gonna push up that other Bradley. We're almost done with this match, guys. Hope you've been enjoying this sort of commentary. Trying to focus on my commentary a little bit, be a little better, be a little more clear and concise and slow. So we're still doing pretty good here. Trying to put some pressure on those enemy vehicles that are in the forest over there. We have a pretty good foothold on the middle left objectives. Those enemies not getting those anytime soon. So we're dropping some cavalry scouts off. Really like using those cavalry scouts. They're effective against taking out enemy armor. Don't have that much shots on them, so once you use them, you gotta really be quick to supply them if they're gonna be more effective. You don't want them to be a one and done type unit. So they were just dropping off more units to scout out the forest, make sure there's not any enemy vehicles we're unaware of or enemy infantry trying to sneak up and take the points. But around this time, we only have about 2 minutes left in the game, so to be honest, there's not much that they could do. Just going to speed this up a little more. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much the game. We did pretty well here. I really enjoyed using the Stryker and Armor deck that I created here. It falls more in the category of not being just pure specialized, but sort of a specialized balanced, with focusing on a mix of units, not just going purely arty or purely anti-air or whatnot, or supply. So this is pretty good. I like this one a lot. And if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know what you guys think of this sort of experimenting with decks and match analysis. If you guys like these videos, definitely create more of them. And I really did enjoy using this deck, and we're going to go ahead and play some more games, experimenting with them and doing some more match analysis if you guys do like these videos. And we'll go ahead and adjust the deck as we see fit, and continue to create more and have some more fun in this game. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This game, we did pretty well in it. We did win it. I believe I'm going to take us... Oh, too far. But yeah, this is what the end result was. Did pretty good. We got second place, I guess, for the score. It was really fun, and I did definitely enjoy that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know, leave a comment below, and I will see you guys in the next one.